And one of the most expensive parts about lost wax casting is this stuff right here, microcrystalline wax. So I'm going to show you how I go about recycling, cleaning, and reusing this stuff. Now I buy my wax from Arizona Sculptor Supply. When you include shipping, it's not cheap at all, but I've been using the same 11-pound block for a few years now. And if you're watching this, I'm sure you know how to lost wax cast. Inside the flask, I have my wax models, and you simply melt the wax out, pour the bronze in, and that's how you do lost wax casting. But in order to capture the wax so it doesn't just burn up, I like to steam my flaxes clean.
This guy can't even talk right. What an idiot. Flaxes.
I like to steam my flaxes clean. So to do that, I just take a big pot and steam the wax out. So here's my process. I take a big pot and I put a little bit of water at the bottom. Now this thing came with it. I don't know what it's called, but it keeps a flask from sitting in the water. So I put that in and then put in the flask. The lid won't fit, so I just use aluminum foil to cover the top. Depending on the size of the flask, it can take about an hour or so to steam the wax out. Once the wax is gone, I take it out of the pot and I put it in the kiln for the typical burnout process. Removing the bulk of the wax helps keep my kiln cleaner and helps the coils last longer. Now the wax floats on top of the water, and what you're left with is this disc of wax. But it's dirty, it's got pieces of investment that fell off in it, and the bottom side almost looks like foam. And in the foam is trapped water. Now water and wax don't mix at all. So before I can use this again, I have to de-water it and clean it. Now this is one of the most dangerous parts of this method. I don't want to heat the wax too hot or too fast because water in wax will explode. It's dangerous. So I have to heat it up at a low, slow temperature. If it gets too hot or starts frothing too violently, just remove it from the burner and it'll settle down fairly quick. But you gotta keep your eye on it. Don't walk away. So this next part I got directly from the World Traveler YouTube channel. He's a lot smarter than me, but he's not really making casting videos anymore, unfortunately. I wish he would. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a silicone rubber bread pan. It's soft and flexible, and this particular one has a rigid lip, which I find works better. Next, I go into my sock drawer and get some pantyhose. I get extra large pantyhose because I need them, because they fit better over the bread pan. So you stretch these on there. So you stretch these over this without ripping them. I hate it when they rip. And now we have a filtration system. I depress the top of the pantyhose to make a makeshift funnel, and then I carefully pour the wax in, and all the crud and junk is filtered out. The bottom of the pan has a lot of sludge left on it, and I always take a small cloth and wipe that out. These make good fire starters too. Wax retains heat pretty well, so this takes quite a while to cool down. But once we free up the pan, we get to see a nice clean block of wax. There it is. So now I've got a nice fresh loaf of wax. I'm amazed at how little shrinkage there is. Let's pop it out of there. Now I got a fresh chunk of nice, clean, microcrystalline wax. Pantyhose can't be reused, at least not this spot, but I can use another spot. Now I don't really care if sprue wax gets molten into there because it's all microcrystalline wax to begin with. The most that'll happen is the texture of the wax will change. I like my wax just slightly soft. I don't like it brittle. This is microcrystalline wax that's very gummy and soft. It's too gummy, I don't like to use it, but if this gets too hard and brittle, I'll mix some of this in with it to get the consistency that I like. By recycling this, it saves a ton of money, and I can keep on making my wax molds just like this. If you have any tips on how you recycle your wax, put them in the comments. I'm sure me and other people would love to read them. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching.